Hello, in next few videos I'm going to show you what happens when you unassign or remove resources depending on task type, fixed units, fixed work or fixed duration, and if it is effort driven or not effort driven. For this first video in this series, I created one single task, one project, one single task, 4 days duration. If I go to view and to resource sheet, you will see that I have John and Mary, which are 100% maximum units. And now let's use task usage. Okay, let's scroll to the task. Okay, we have no work yet. And let us use task form. So for this particular task, I'm going to assign John and Mary. As expected, and I explained in one of my previous videos, you can see that they both are going to work 8 hours per day, 4 days, and the total hours are 32. This is fixed unit task and task type, and it is not effort driven. So now I'm going to remove Mary. What will happen if I remove Mary with fixed units task and the task is not effort driven? You will see that duration is not going to be changed, so I'm going to hit delete and OK, and the total amount of work will decrease. So once again, when I had Mary and John, both of them should work 32 hours to complete their part of the task, in total 64 hours. If I remove Mary, it means like I don't need Mary, okay, and John can do in the same duration with his amount of work, the complete work. So basically, we can say that John is enough with no additional efforts, with his work 8 hours per day, to fulfill this task, to finish this task by his own. Now, what will happen if I put effort-driven task and I say, okay, what will happen if I remove Mary now? If the effort-driven, now remember that both of them should work 32 hours and the total amount of work is 64 hours. Now I'm going to remove Mary, once again delete, and I will click on OK. You will see that since the task is effort-driven, it means that this task can be finished only if the total amount of work is 64 hours. Once again, you can see John and Mary in total 64 hours. When I remove Mary and I click on OK, Microsoft Project will calculate like, okay, since Mary is gone, but we need to work 64 hours, John is going to work 64 hours. But since it is fixed units, so he cannot work more than 100% per day, those 64 hours are going to be done in 8 days. Why? Because fixed units means units are fixed, so John is going to work 100%, which means 8 hours per day, which means if he has to work 46 hours, 46 hours divided by 8 hours per day will result in 8 days. So to conclude this short video, when you have a non-effort driven task and you have multiple resources, when you remove resource, and the task is fixed units, of course, nothing will be happen in duration, but the total amount of work will decrease. When you have, on the other hand, effort-driven task, and you remove one resource, then the total effort will be split among other resources, because effort-driven means the total amount of work cannot be decreased. And since the total amount of work, in my case, 64 hours, cannot be decreased, it means that duration will be increased. Work cannot be decreased, but duration will be increased. 64 hours for John means duration will be increased to 8 days, as I shown you before. I hope this helped. Thank you very much, and see you soon with fixed duration tasks.